Hello, good afternoon everybody. Thank you for coming to join me again. I do appreciate your company. I just wanted to share with you what I've been working on, and this is my design team project for Rachel Roxy's Creations, and for this one I've used her English Country Garden kit, and I've been playing with some fabrics that I had making the covers. I'm doing a second journal. This one turned out very pink, so it's a bit pink in the garden. Mrs Cogs, you'll like that, Liz. And then this one's turned out to be more green, so it's going to be green in the garden, I guess. So I've actually doing a video on how I put these fabrics together so that you can see how I've constructed these covers. But this is the one that I've made at the moment, so this one's finished. Rachel's kit, I love working with her kits, and this country garden, the English garden, it was just so colourful, and I just went with pink, which is unusual for me because I'm not a pink person, but I really like how it turned out. So it's quite chunky, including there are some small book pages in here, so including all the book pages front and back, there's around 96 pages in it. Soft cover, which is something that I personally like to do, but I like to make different journal covers. So if I just take this piece of organza ribbon off, you can have a look. So I'll open it up so that you can see the cover. So it just, to me, it represented a garden, so with the different flower fabrics and the different little trims that I've put on as well. It just reminded me of a country garden or an English garden. So I'll take you through it. So as I say, it's a soft cover journal. On the inside, hopefully I'm in the screen there. Yeah, so on the inside, I've covered it with some fabric, and then I had this fabric here with the little birds on, and I just thought that went so well with the theme of it being an English garden. And in the front pocket there, I've used one of Rachel's papers that I had left over from the kit. I was just thinking whether this one was a freebie on a website. I don't think it was, that went with it. But I've made it into like a little file folder, so it's got a lovely owl on the back there, some fabric and paper ruffle down there, and then on the inside there's a pocket here. So the kits that I said, the kit that I'd used was the English Country Garden, but I've also used her being Rachel, sorry Rachel, I've used Rachel's purple papers and pink papers and some green papers in these. So fussy cut out the butterfly and the flower, and I've put a little butterfly tag in there. And then here's just some fussy cutting that I've done on one of Rachel's previous botanical tags there. And then this is one of Mrs Cogs' fantasy English garden, so with the little poems on, and that just went so well with this kit as well. So I've used a few of Liz's images through this kit, through this journal. So that goes in the front pocket. And then some lace on here with a little ribbon rose ribbon rose. And then I've just one of Rachel's ephemera cards, and then I've just fussy cut some rose on there. And then this is her pink, one of her pink kit papers. Then on the inside there, these are Rachel's postcards, envelopes that come with one of her kits, and I've just layered them up. So hopefully you can see those, they've been layered up. And then this is, I've sewn on here, so these are some French knots, and I've put a little butterfly on it, so hopefully you can see that they're raised. And then again some trim on there. So I've put those one inside the other to make the pockets. And then Rachel's papers there. So 3 tags that go in there, and they just slot in. It's that one. I did that wrong when I was putting it together. And then that one, that's just a front book page from Ladybird book that I was gifted of garden flowers, and it came just as I was doing this journal. So I've just put some extra journaling space in there, and again just some fussy cut roses on there. And then Rachel's paper there, hopefully that, yep, still in screen. So there's one of her Rachel's papers there. I've put a rambling rose up the edge of that, so some little ribbon roses there, and some of the flower flower trim, leaf trim. Paper bag there, and that's one of Mrs Cogs' images. I'm not sure which one that's from. That's definitely from her Pink in the Garden, and I think that's about one of my most favourite images there, and that just goes in that bag. The I've used some napkins in here, and the what do you call these, doilies, and they're from Laura Bame, from Laura's Papered Soul, so I'll put a link to that below as well. Vintage book page there. Again, everything just seemed to go pink in this book. Rachel's pink kit, and then I had a book that had some garden verse in it, some garden poetry. So that says, I value my garden more for being full of blackbirds than of cherries, and very frankly give them fruit for their songs. And then just flip that up, and there's a little blackbird there, and another poem on that side. Some pink lace on there. And then again, Liz's kit there in the garden. Like I say, I think they're either blue, pink or white in the garden that I've got. And it's just such a lovely image there. And again, Rachel's papers in the background and Rachel's tag. Vintage Observer book there. Little cluster there. And then again, as I say, I was gifted the Ladybird book of the English Garden. So it just came right. There's another little blackbird there. And then I've just done that as a flip out, so that you get a couple of pages there. So you can still write on this paper. And again, the lovely kit from Rachel. And there's a little snip out there. Roses and works of art are beautiful in themselves. Book page there. One of the little postcards. I think that's an Artie May's postcard, that one. One of Rachel's tags. And then one of Tracy's definitions there, horticulture. And tuck spot up there, and it says, flowers are like friends, they bring colour to your world. Vintage book page there. And then some extra journaling space. That actually does lift up, so that if you wanted to, well, you can read about the flowers on there, or you could stick something on it if you wanted to. So just some extra writing space there. One of the pages from the kit, oops, just there. And one of Liz's bookmark tags there. And then this is one of Rachel's envelopes that I've just put a stamp on, and then just a fussy cut bird on there. I thought the red bird went nicely with the red daisy. Little fabric snip there. This is one of the napkins that Laura from Papered Soul sent me, and I've used that. It goes through the other side as well. So I just thought that was just perfect for this journal, and it just, the colours, it's I don't usually do such bright journals, but the Roxy's kit just really said bright in this one. Again, there's a little poem there about the garden, and then a couple of Rachel's tags there. I haven't put any decoration on those. They're just perfect. Another book page there, and again, napkin from the Papered Soul. I've just decoupaged that on there, and again, nature definition. A little snip there, and then this is a window envelope, nice and crinkly. So fussy cut a rabbit out. That's from Rachel's Easter kit. And one of her labels and a butterfly on there. You see the rabbit's head just there. I do think those birds are looking at that butterfly for the tea. Then it says the earth laughs in flowers there, and I've just decoupaged some flowers and a butterfly. And then Mrs Cogs blue in the garden, and then just some little fabric snips on that. Book page there. Just some stenciling. Oops. And then just stuck the birds on there just to decorate the book page a little bit. Old book page there, that's the centre, and then I've got a couple of beads on the bottom of that. And again, some more. There's lots of journaling space in this one, so even though I've stenciled and put butterflies on this page, you can still stencil on it. Then completely inspired by Rachel and her sister Sarah's 100-day challenge, where they did a secret garden. So I've used one of Rachel's prints of a door from her Italian kit, and then just open it up, and it's number 751. And then I've just cut the door and then put a little picture behind it of a garden. And then there's a journaling card that slips in behind there, and that's got extra journaling space on. That just tucks in there. Sorry, I'm at a funny angle. There we go, that slips in there. So completely inspired by Rachel and Sarah on that one. And this is the back of the envelope. So a little bit of Edith Holden there, and I've just fussy cut those flowers to match with those. Then on the edge of this page, I've done some hand crocheting. So I've hand crocheted that on there, and I've just added a couple of little buttons at the bottom on the cottons that were left. And that's just got a little bit of shine to it. And then another journaling card in there. That's one of Rachel's napkin sets, doily sets, that's the word, isn't it? Then this is a paper clip there that I've put the piece of fabric on, and I've just done some slow, I don't know if you can see that, I've done some slow stitching around the shape of the flowers, and then I've just sewn some beads on it as well, just to bring out those flowers, and then put some trim at the bottom there. And then this, I was gifted, Carol Rigby gifted me this, and it came just as I was making this journal, so thank you very much, Carol, I really appreciate that. And then on the back of that paper clip there, one of Rachel's images there, and her papers as well. Book page, a couple of more of her tags with the birds. And these are either from the Nature Walk or the Botanical set, I forget which one. Again, a little poem from my garden verse book. And then again the back with that napkin on from the papered sole there. And that just flips out for some extra journaling space. And then on the back of this book page, I've got a little glassine bag, and I think that's from Laura at the Papered Soul as well. And that just says, if you enjoy the fragrance of a rose, you must accept the thorns. And that does just fit nicely in there. And then that image there from Rachel. Then just a double pocket here. And again, Rachel's papers, and I've just put these images on. These are from Mrs Cogs that I've just shrunk down. It just fits in there. Again, with some lace trim on the back of the book page. That says, he who plants a garden plants happiness. And then one of Rachel's ephemera cards there, and I've just put a bird on it. And then I used one of her tags and made a tag on that one as well. There's a butterfly at the back. I think that bird actually is looking at that butterfly. Then there's a pocket here. This is one of Rachel's pages that I've shrank down, and I've folded it in half to make a pocket. The other half of that is the bag that you saw earlier, the pink bag. Again from that Observer book, no sorry, Ladybird book there. And then to decorate this page I've decoupaged a napkin, and again that was from Laura from the Papered Soul. So the same napkin there on both sides. Another fabric snip on there. And then this is one of the envelopes that Rachel makes as well. So this is an envelope, and I've put one of her tags on the front and decoupaged one of her papers there, and it lifts out, so you can write on this, or you could, sorry, there's bits of cotton and thread everywhere. You can either write over this or you could put a picture on it, and then there's a tag just there that says garden, the definition of garden, and a little journaling card in there. And then in the pocket of the envelope at the side there, That's one of Mrs Cogs' images there. I think that's, I'm not sure if that's Blue in the Garden. That just fits in there. And then in the back pocket again, the fabrics, and then I've got some pages from an Observer Book of Wildflowers, and then I've just made that into a little booklet. So there's some extra journaling space in there that just flips down, and then there's a couple of the book pages in there with some scrap papers, just some extra journaling space and just some fabric on the edge of that. So that is my take on Rachel's English Country Garden kit. I do hope you like it. I've really enjoyed making this one, and although I'm not a pink person, I do like how it's turned out. So any questions I'm more than happy to answer, and I'm going to do a video on how I put the fabrics together for this journal, so that if you're interested you can have a look at that as well, or let me know if you would be interested to see it. So thank you, Rachel, again for letting me use your kit. They are absolutely beautiful. So thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.